This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Good morning, it's Wednesday, June 4th, 2025. Mental health is real. Seek help and the stigma. On the news this morning. Suspended Rivers governor visits President Tinubu in Lagos. Rivers administrator appoints new permanent secretaries. Judiciary workers suspend nationwide strike. Cause of tragic flood in Niger State revealed. WAEC denies cancelling English exam. On the foreign scene, Gaza aid centers shut as Israel declares access roads combat zones. Details of these and more after this break.
The Akota Kingdom asked.
Hey, welcome back. I'm Ife Chukwumoyele with the news. Now, the suspended Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara visited President Bola Tinubu in Lagos on Tuesday. Photos shared by the State House showed Governor Fubara in a closed-door discussion with President Tinubu at his residence in Lagos State. President Tinubu has been in Lagos since last week, where he commissioned several projects. The president will remain in the state until the Salah celebrations are over. Details of their meetings are still unclear, but recall that President Tinubu suspended Governor Siminalayi Fubara from office amid political tensions in the state. It is the second time the Rivers State governor is meeting with the president behind closed doors since his suspension on March 18. Moving on now, the Rivers State Sole Administrator Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas has appointed 11 new permanent secretaries. A statement by the acting head of service in Rivers State, Dr. Ian Brown, said the newly appointed permanent secretaries will be sworn in by the sole administrator on a date to be made known. Well, away from that, members of the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, JUSUN, who started a strike on Monday, have resolved to suspend their national strike and resume duties today. Now, they said the decision followed the intervention of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, CBN, Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, and other stakeholders. The union had embarked on the strike to demand the implementation of the 70,000 naira new minimum wage and its arrears, a 25 and 35% salary increase, and 5 months wage award and arrears. In Rivers State, the Federal High Court in Port Harcourt was locked on Monday and Tuesday, but usual court activities continued at the Rivers State High Court in Port Harcourt as workers there did not comply with the strike. The Supreme Court and the National Judicial Council chapters of JUSUN pulled out of the strike on Sunday. Meanwhile, the trial of 12 suspects accused of killing a female police inspector, Christiana Erekere, at the Taba Police Division in Kana local government area of Rivers State resumed at the Rivers State High Court in Port Harcourt. At Monday's hearing, the second defense witness, Ferguson Uweraka, a passenger in one of the vehicles involved in the incident, took the stand. Uweraka told the court that a few hours after an argument between some passengers and police officers on duty, he was handed seized documents by one of the officers. He testified that he later heard a shout from inside the station and saw the first defendant, Joy Uweraka, in a pool of blood. He also added that the situation escalated after late Inspector Christiana assaulted Joy Uweraka with her mobile phone. Correspondent Emekotoka reports that the trial judge, Justice Augusta Chukwu, adjourned the matter to 16th June 2025 for the testimony of the third defense witness. As you may know, late Inspector Christiana Erekere was allegedly killed on 24th April 2024 during a stop-and-search operation at the Taba Police Division in Kana local government area. The suspects were traveling from Delta State to Akwa Ibom State for a traditional marriage ceremony. Elsewhere, the sole administrator of Andoni local government area of River State, Mr. Atajit Francis, has flagged off a sanitation marshal program in the area. The council says it is part of effort to promote environmental cleanliness, strengthen waste management, and improve public health. Addressing newsmen shortly after the flag-off at Ngo Town, the secretary of the council, Mr. Emmanuel Awoto, who represented the Andoni sole administrator, tasked the sanitation marshal to sensitize the people and enforce sanitation regulations in their communities.
This initiative is not just about sweeping streets or clearing debris. It is about restoring dignity to our environment, preserving the health of our people, and protecting the natural beauty that God has abundantly bestowed on us. Let me be clear, cleanliness is not a privilege. It is a right, and it is also our shared responsibility. This administration, under my watch as sole administrator, has prioritized environmental sanitation as a pillar of community development, public health, and civic pride.
On the spot, the Chief of Staff, Mr. Gospel Harrison, appealed to the sanitation marshals to prioritize service to the people over personal gain. He wants them to take before, during, and after photographs of their activities. Responding on behalf of the sanitation marshals, Mr. Jebin Ekachep Nsan pledged to deliver on their mandate in ensuring the success of the program.
The core mandate of this exercise is to maintain an atmosphere of cleanliness and a very healthy environment for the Andoni people. On behalf of myself and my fellow supervisors, God willing and helping us, we will put in our best and will ensure that the core mandate given to us is achieved, and we will not put the sole administrator at the local government level and the state level to shame. We will deliver on the core mandate.
Our correspondent reports that members of the sanitation marshal program were drawn from the 11 wards of Andoni local government area. Still to come, cause of devastating floods in Niger State revealed. Stay with us.
Showcase your business at the Port Harcourt Tech Expo 2025.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
You're welcome back, and now the rest of the news. Ahead of World Environment Day tomorrow, some environmentalists in Rivers State are not pleased with efforts so far made to reduce the impact of looming flood disasters following NIMET's predicted heavy rainfall. Environmental Manager Mishak Uyi speaks to correspondent Obiorware on this.
There have been no preparedness whatsoever in Rivers State, Port Harcourt particularly, and its environment, in order to ensure that there will be no adverse effect. Anytime there is a heavy downpour, there is a flash flood. Drainages in Port Harcourt are heavily blocked with sand debris. Some of these drainages are covered and have not been desilted for a number of years. The administration to give charge, early preparedness and preparation for this thing would help. It's the sole administrator to charge the local government authorities to see how they can deseal the drainages.
Now, on his part, environmental rights advocate Henry Eferebo wants the state government to quickly activate committees set up by the previous administration.
I've not seen any preparedness from government. Before now, previous governments usually set up committees in the local government who interfaces with the people, ensures that all the blocked drainages and canals are open to enable free flow of water before the flooding starts. As far as I'm concerned right now, those things are not in place. Before now, government has not shown much concern to issues of the floodings, and this is the worst because this government had not prepared at all. And so I pity for those who are within the flood-prone area.
Eferebo also called for an intensified awareness campaign about the yearly flooding in the flood-prone communities in Rivers State. In the meantime, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, in Rivers State says it is working to ensure that all designated safe grounds in flood-prone communities are fully prepared to accommodate potential flood victims. Head of Operations, NEMA's Port Harcourt office, Mr. Eric Ebodage, told correspondent Martha Okiri that the agency has started visiting local government areas identified as high risk, along with inspections of all disaster response unit DRUs.
We are speaking with the community and we are letting them understand that peradventure is flooding. We need them to move to safe grounds. And those safe grounds have been identified within these local governments. We're also interacting with local government authorities and relevant agencies within the state to ensure that those safe grounds are in proper readiness for habitation peradventure. People are moved to that place. We have also have what we call interaction and we have visited all the DRUs. Those DRUs are domiciled within the military paraphernalia. They are called the disaster response unit. So those are swift response units that can be used in the area of search and rescue in case you are doing evacuation.
Ebodage said NEMA is actively implementing both pre-disaster and post-disaster preparedness strategies and called on authorities to prioritize the desilting of waterways across the state. He also said the agency is positioning relief materials in anticipation of possible emergencies. Similarly, NEMA's national spokesperson, Mr. Manzo Ezekiel, has urged residents of Rivers State not to wait until floods occur before taking action. In an interview with our correspondent, Mr. Ezekiel spoke on the need for proactive measures, citing the recent flooding in Mokwa community, Niger State, as a lesson.
After the predictions have been made, it is our responsibility as a people to adhere to the information that has been given and see how we can make use of it and apply to our preparedness. We don't have to wait for the flood to happen before we plan on what to do. So as we have seen in Mokwa, it's possible that the prediction, especially for areas that are said to be of low probability, that what may happen there might even be higher than what have been predicted for places that are of high probability. That is one lesson. And it's not only Rivers State, but for every part of Nigeria.
Still on this, the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Joseph Utsev, says the tragic floods in Mokwa, Niger State were not caused by water released from Kainji and Jeba dams. Speaking at a press conference in Abuja on Tuesday, Utsev said the floods were basically due to a lack of adherence to flood warnings in the state. He blamed it on extreme weather conditions occasioned by climate change, unregulated buildings, construction activities, and poor drainage infrastructure. As you may know, over 200 people were reported dead in the Niger State flood, and several others are missing and displaced. In another development, the Rivers State Director of Fire Prevention and Inspectorate Unit, Benson Nnamdi Oka, has urged residents to own portable fire extinguishers, fire blankets, or big towels that can be soaked in water to cover burning objects. In an interview with our correspondent, Nnamdi Oka warned against the practice of keeping gas cylinders inside the kitchen while cooking.
Housekeeping is very, very important to prevent fire outbreak. The way you keep your things, the way you arrange them also prevents. Even in the kitchen, some people store cylinders in the kitchen and it's bad. We've been telling them to put your cylinders outside the kitchen. Make sure you have a portable fire extinguisher, whether CO2 or dry chemical powder. It's very, very necessary to have a fire blanket. Even though you don't have fire blanket, have a towel at the incipient stage before the fire service can come. You soak it in the water and now cover the burning object.
Nnamdi Oka urged the public not to wait until fire outbreaks become overwhelming before calling on the fire service. He also warned the public against attacking firemen on duty, adding that the refusal of motorists to obey emergency sirens often lead to delayed arrivals. He also urged the public to call the fire service through these numbers: 0703 1522 0703 1522 or 0817 027 9323 0817 027 9323. In other news, the West African Examination Council WAEC has refuted claims that it has cancelled the English language paper written on May 28th. WAEC's acting head of public affairs, Moyoshola Adeshina, made this known in a statement. The delay in writing the examination in the night had sparked national outrage. WAEC had clarified that a paper leak was the reason for the delay.
And now we'll bring you news from around the world.
Now, aid distribution centers in Gaza will be closed today as the Israeli military warned roads leading to the site will be considered combat zones. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, GHF, a controversial U.S. and Israel-backed aid network that began operating last week, said it is closing its site for update, organization, and efficiency improvement works. In a separate update, the Israel Defense Forces IDF said people will be prohibited from entering the distribution centers or traveling on roads leading to them.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
On the news this morning, you heard suspended Rivers governor visited President Tinubu in Lagos on Tuesday. Rivers administrator has appointed 11 new permanent secretaries. Judiciary workers are expected to resume this morning after suspending their nationwide strike on Tuesday. The cause of the tragic flood in Niger State has been revealed. WAEC has denied cancelling English exams. On the foreign scene, Gaza aid centers are shut today as Israel declares access road combat zone. The news was edited by Chioma Ezenwafo. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Ifechukwu Mwanyele. Many thanks for listening.